He boxes out of the blue corner, wears blue and red with white trim. On the scales at the weigh-in, 8 stone 4 pounds. From 26 contests, 20 wins, 7 inside the distance. Only 4 defeats, 2 draws. Former British and Commonwealth Bantamweight champion. The former IBF Bantamweight champion of the world. From Darlington, County Durham, England, the challenger, Stuart. And in the red corner stands the champion. Wearing blue shorts with silver trim. At the weigh-in, he scaled 8 stone 5 pounds from 36 contests, 33 wins, 14 inside the distance, only 3 defeats. Former 2-weight British champion, 2-weight Commonwealth champion, former European champion, the reigning, defending IBF Bantamweight champion of the world. From Bristol, England, the Playboy Haskins.
Right, lads, you both know the rules, so let's just have a good, clean fight, okay? Most of all, remember to defend yourselves at all times, all right? Touch gloves. Keep it.
4 years on, after they first locked horns and following heat antagonism and a genuinely tricky build-up here, Stuart Hall and Lee Haskins meet again. It was the Bristol southpaw who took the 12-round decision for the European crown on his home patch in July 2012. Now for the IBF 8 stone 6 belt. Property of Haskins, formerly of Hall, who's been so bullish, promising that he will deal with Haskins. Haskins doesn't punch, he believes. He says his chin, his skill, his determination will see him win home. Haskins believes that he'll walk through him.
They're both just so supremely confident. It's almost hard to know who to believe. We're going to see it unfold in front of us, but they both carry so much belief. Paul is, he's really looking for revenge, and Haskins just convinced he's going to win. So there'll be a bit of a standoff early on, as it looks like it will be, as it looks like it is. But once these two start letting go of the lever and letting the punches go, I think this is going to be a quick. Good left hook, awkward shot there from Haskins, which is what he likes to throw. Landing, but he was on the end of one there from Hall, so already shots going in from both fighters.
You know, one thing about these two, they genuinely do not like each other. I mean, we saw throughout the whole build-up, we had to keep their hands off each other. It was hard to get them to keep their hands off each other when they were at the television studio. And really, when they both sound confident, as Carl was saying, you really can never see yourself losing to somebody you can't stand. When you genuinely dislike somebody, you just don't want to picture yourself losing to them. So they're going to come out confident. They're going to speak confidently because of, I think, just a genuine dislike for each other going into this fight.
Paul, the stand-up technician, Haskins, the awkward, often ungainly fighter. But he can punch, he can really frustrate. And he's got plenty of skills and ability that have taken a long time to come to fruition. But Hall is tough, he's really hard. And he has had his training regime reignited by Max McCracken and Paddy Lynch in Birmingham. He's been sparring with Frankie Gavin and Cal Yafai. There's a real sense of purpose to his career, even this late on. But is it too late at 36?
See, when a lot of times when Haskins throws that left hand, he throws it a little bit loopy. If Hall can time it and throw something straight down the middle, maybe something there. But of course, timing it at the correct moment is obviously easier said than done, as Haskins makes these little jittery moves, and it's hard to figure out when he's going to let something go.
Neither of these fighters can really contemplate losing, because they're both coming here so eager for the win and so switched on. You can see it. Hall sort of standing back a bit tentatively, looking and loading up, and Haskins a little bit more relaxed but walking into a few shots. It's hard to split them at this point, but you can see it's quite tense in there.
Well, nervous energy between the pair. Tries the uppercut, Haskins. Interesting first.
هل سبق وبحثت عن فندق عبر الإنترنت؟ هل لاحظت؟
Solid world title action as our final fight before the main one, featuring Bristol's Lee Haskins. In his 37th outing, he's won 33, lost 3 times. It was Stuart Hall, won 20 of 26, 4 defeats, all on points. He's had good patches and bad, Hall, but he's managed to become world champion. And finally, Haskins did as well.
You see, Hall came out really early in the round, and he tried to get physical with pushing back Haskins. I think that's one of the things you can try to use against a technician like Haskins, who's very awkward. Don't even bother trying to time him. Try to rough him up and try to see if he comes undone. A little bit like Barrera did to Hamed many years ago. You know, kind of made that athletic style come undone with frustration and physical prowess.
Yeah, that was Naz's big night that backfired in Vegas when he was unbeaten. And he was outboxed and outclassed by Marco Antonio Barrera. Never really recovered from it, but great to see Naz here tonight to support his childhood friend, Kelbrook.
And as good as Nassim Hamed was, Barrera just did the basics very well. Great jab, great feet, kept them under him, great centre of gravity, and just put that basic left, right, left hook together. And if Hall could just walk forward, he landed a good left hook there, just stepping forward. He just needs to stick to the jab, right-hand hook, and a good defence, and he'll start to catch Haskins if Haskins with this low guard starts to get wild.
Yeah, there's that jab again, Carl, like you mentioned. The same things that make Haskins really good also can make him a little bit flawed. You know, having the hands down, a little bit of athleticism in his style, you know, it makes him really good, it makes him tough to time, but at the same time, like Carl said, to keep those fundamentals intact, you get him going straight back. There's a nice solid jab again, just a fundamental jab from Hall. If you get him going straight back, you can maybe hit him with those follow-up shots because his hands are all over the place. But again, getting him out of position has to be the key first. His athleticism keeping you frustrated.
He sort of burst onto the scene back in 2003, 2004, Lee Haskins, and you can see why he emulated Prince Nassim Hamed, can't you, Paulie?
Oh yeah, you can see a lot of that in his style. Hamed had huge dynamite in his gloves, though. I don't know how much of that power Haskins has, but regardless, he's very difficult to time. You can see some of the shots he's meaning to land hard, some of the shots he's just touching, looking for a reaction from Hall and counter him. I mean, a really creative style, very unorthodox.
I think that's a significant factor there with Haskins. He generates the angles and he lands the awkward-looking shots from out of range, and they're flush, clean, nice eye-catching shots, but they haven't got that power that Nassim Hamed had. They don't carry that concussive blow, so they don't really have the effect, and then he's there in range with his arms down, taking counters. It becomes hard and awkward for him. Great shot there, left straight cross by Haskins, timed Hall beautifully there. Now, if he was a puncher there, that would have caused a lot of damage.
Yep, 14 knockouts, that's all on the record of Lee Haskins. Prince Nassim Hamed, of course, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, punching featherweight of all time. I tell you, who's not a bad punching middleweight, and maybe one of the biggest hitters of all time in the 160-pounder level.
Moment getting your hands wrapped, not for every fighter, but you sit there getting your hands wrapped, you're thinking about what's to come, and you can see Gennady Golovkin sitting there concentrating and probably going through in his head the ring walk and his tactics and what he has to do and what's ahead of him. He'll be supreme.
As well, because personally myself, I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna get my hands wrapped, put my shoes on and put my gloves on. When these come off, the fight's over, so let's make sure we've done the job between the time that they're on and the time that they're off.
Interesting thoughts from Paulie, two-weight champion, of course, Carl, four-time champion, watching this World Championship fight down in the 8'6" division. Often forget the bantamweights. We saw it flyweight earlier, Charlie Edwards failing to become a world champion, Casemiro doing ever so well. These two, Haskins and Hall, solid operators.
Yeah.
Haskins a little bit more skillful, Hall maybe a little bit more stubborn.
And we saw Haskins will give you something once in a while. He'll pull straight back all the time. We saw about 25 seconds ago, he pulled straight back and Hall was able to reach him with a 1-2. But he's got to step in really hard with that initial jab so that when he gets the pullback, he's able to reach with the right hand. Because if he doesn't step in enough, what Haskins is going to do on that pullback, he's going to counter with the left hand.
I think Hall needs to draw Haskins in a bit, throw a couple of fakes, just throw the jab lightly to the body and throw fakes, make Haskins react, and then Hall can just keep it basic with a 1-2 down the pipe. And if that's successful, just put the left hook, but don't go wide with the left hook.
Exactly.
Just keep his defence nice and do everything correct at this stage. And Haskins, he just come undone a little bit. I mean, he's wild, he's elusive, he's nice to watch at times, but he's wide open for a basic counterpunch.
And that's the thing, Carl. It's a lot of there's a nice little right hand again by Hall. A lot of things you were just mentioning Hall has to do are things that Haskins does to lure you in. You know, little traps, little touch shots. You know, a lot of doing nothing, but it looks like he's doing something, so you react to it, and then he catches you with the shot he wants to hit you with.
Unorthodox, difficult to read. Lee Haskins has won his last 7 fights. Was stopped in 8, though, by the erratic, dangerous Stéphane Jamoy in Belgium in the European title fight in 2012. Other defeats for Tashifiwa Munyai. He was a good fighter, and he retired with an injured arm against Ian Napper. So he can be unlocked. Can Hall do that to his old rival?
You see right there, Hall didn't reach him, he didn't step in hard enough, and what happened? Haskins pulled back and countered with the left hand.
Yeah, he didn't step in there with his feet, Hall. He threw the shots but left his feet behind. Quite a basic error. You know what you get with Hall. He's quite a basic fighter, but fundamentally he's quite solid and he's upright and he throws the shots accurately enough. But, you know, boxing's all about levels. He can do this, because Haskins we've seen before, he can be undone, as Adam just said. But you've got to do it correctly, and there's no rush. It's 12 rounds. Take your time. Just keep backing him up. Keep throwing the fakes.
And Hall only has 7 knockouts as well, Paulie. He only has to go the long haul.
Yeah. This fight does seem like it's another distance fight thus far with the pace of it. One thing about Haskins as well, you see all these little touch shots. He's parrying nothing that Hall is throwing, but again, he's just trying to get his positioning on top of Hall's gloves.
Movement from Haskins, frustrating, just bewildering Hall at times as he comes in, slightly clumsily, but he's so tough. No touching gloves there.
From the producer of The Office You Love.
I think he should take up poker because he plays his cards very close to his chest. He always seems to have a trick up his sleeve. But I spoke to him earlier. He didn't want to give anything away, he said, but there's something coming soon, so we'll have to wait and see.
I think David Hay still has a lot to offer the heavyweight division. It's always exciting times whenever there's a David Hay fight.
Exciting times generally in that heavyweight division. Fury Klitschko is on. Anthony Joshua back at the end of November. Deontay Wilder, of course, in the States. So much to look forward to.
Look, see how Haskins does. He jockeys for position with that lead hand. He's not parrying anything because Hall is not throwing anything. But what he's doing is by keeping his glove on top of Hall's glove, he's controlling the lead hand. And by controlling the lead hand, Hall has to reach with the right hand unless he changes position.
Hall in the blue trunks with the red stripe down the side. Haskins just looking to counter cleverly. Both family men.
That was a nice move by Hall. I call it a feint by Hall. He drew a reaction out of Haskins, and then he was able to land the lead right hand right off that feint. He was able to feint him out of position and then throw the right hand. Haskins bit on the feint and was able to get tagged by a clean right hand from Hall. And that's the things you want to lure Haskins into, because he's so clever defensively, but you get him to make that first defensive move, and it's just bait. Then you put him in position for the next shot.
Do you feel he's just outsmarting Hall at the moment and just picking up, nicking these rounds?
I think he's just landing the eye-catching shots for the judges. The ringside score in this bout tonight is close. I mean, I've got Haskins ahead. I've got him winning in the first 3 rounds, but only just. I mean, the judges could be seeing something different, but it's hard to favour Hall because the success is few and far between, and the eye-catching shots and the cleaner punches that land a right hook there on the way in and a left hook there from Haskins. He's loading up and he's landing flush eye-catching shots.
Legs just trembled slightly of Hall there.
I have to agree there, and Haskins just the better athlete. At the end of the day, no matter what, boxing is combat, but it's also a sport, and your athleticism can take you a long way, and Haskins is clearly making his athleticism work for him tonight.
Tell you what Carl, Stuart Hall seems a bit stiff to me, just a bit static. He's not really relaxing.
He does. He looks like he's tensed up, and he wants this too much. If he just relaxes and gets behind that affair, I mean, he's coming forward there, letting shots go, getting a bit rough and rugged, and that's maybe what he needs to do just to get himself into this fight. But I'd like to see him throwing more fakes, jab to the shoulder of Haskins, jab to the body, just get his feet in underneath him, and then he can let a couple of shots go once Haskins responded. I mean, he landed a nice jab there, then Haskins reached in. Hall could have then just stepped back and throw the counter right hand, but, you know, it's hard, this game. This boxing sport's hard, Adam, and it's hard to time them shots without getting, you know, you've got to hit your opponent and not get hit back. And Haskins is awkward and stylish, and, you know, he's quite fast on his hands, awkward on his feet. Hall's got a tough job to do here with the basic arsenal that he's got without taking anything away from him. It is basic, but he can definitely do it.
Miss him with right hands. What's the fucking matter with you? Can you throw the right hand? What's your pain for this? Do you want to win this fight? Throw the right hand to get on top.
As I said earlier, and you can catch him on the pullback as long as you step in as he's pulling back.
See what he's doing with his gloves there, Stuart Hall. You're right, it's like he wants this so badly. He's so tense, he's so up for it. And Haskins is just calm and just taking a step back, Carl, and enjoying himself more.
He is, yeah. I mean, the hate's a very strong word to use, but I'm going to say that Stuart Hall hates Haskins, and to hear him talk about Haskins and, you know, the way he's been non-complimentary about him in the build-up, you can just see that he so badly wants to hurt him.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. He's going to hate to lose to him even more than he hates him, so he's got to make the adjustments.
But they came into the Sky Studios. They didn't know they were meeting each other, and Lee Haskins was completely calm and happy to be there, and Stuart Hall was just wound up. He just wanted to really sort of fuel the fire. No, there is no Christmas cards between the pair.
I think somebody like Haskins, if he gets emotional, is going to not play in his own hands. You know, Haskins wants you to get emotional, and then he can kind of lure you into all those traps, and there's a nice left hand he lands.
Stuart Hall's coach, Max McCracken, looking there, eagerly concentrating. He gave Stuart Hall a bit of a rollick in between rounds, and he was frustrated with him, and, you know, he told him what he has to do and what he's doing wrong. Can Hall respond? You can see him concentrating and trying to relax a bit more, but them gloves are still, you know, they're still tensing up, they're still twitching there, and he's walking into jabs here. He's trying to back Haskins up, but he's doing it all wrong. He looks like he's forcing his work.
And he's also got to cut the ring off, Carl. You see how Haskins is able to turn the corner every time, you see? Okay, they both went down. But
just a slip there, legs coming together as Haskins tried to turn Hall, and, you know, that awkwardness has got, saw them both tumble to the floor there, nothing really flush landed.
Haskins doesn't mind you coming forward. What he's going to mind, though, is if you cut the ring off on him and force him to work when he doesn't want to work. If you let him circle the ring, he's going to still be able to dictate when he throws the punches, when it's time to work, and when it's not time to work. So it's important that Hall cuts the ring off.
Put the pressure on him, cut the ring off, make him move, make him get into a corner, make him feel under pressure.
And more so, make him fight when he doesn't want to fight. By cutting him off, you're going to force him to engage at times he wants to rest.
And that will tire him out, take the energy out of him, then Hall can start to have his success. I mean, that's what he needs to be doing, but it's easier said than done.
Exactly, and not only will tire him out, Carl, it'll also mentally play games with him. It'll mentally tire him out because he's going to be telling himself, wow, I cannot control this pace. This guy's making me fight when I don't want to fight. And, you know, boxing tests you mentally in so many ways over the course of a fight. It doesn't mean Haskins can't handle it, but, you know, it would possibly help Hall's case by doing that.
Haskins coming off a sweeter win as well, defending that IBF title against Ivan Morales, brother of the great Eric, in Cardiff, who was really good that night. All had a good win against Rodrigo Guerrero in Leeds. Last time out, closer though. And Haskins in the ascendancy here in this one, no question about that.
Craig wicket has landed on Indian shore.
Already reading the right attack. We're not even halfway through. Reminds me of one Teddy Atlas back in the day. Remember that? How much do you want to win? Think of your kids. All that sort of stuff. You know, he's trying to get his man going, his charge. And it's just this nervous energy. And maybe over-willing from Hall.
So sometimes, if that's not going to be tactical advice. You know, he's already given it all the effort he can give. I think what Hall needs is some tactical advice.
Well, he responded there at the very start of the round. He backed Haskins up for 1-2 and he's following him around. But you're right, tactically he needs to get it right. He needs to be told to fake with a jab and, you know, step in behind the jab and keep that tight defence and maybe go off to the side. Just keep cutting the run off for Haskins. Make Haskins work, make him feel like he's under pressure.
Let me remind you, gentlemen, though, that back in July 2012, when they met, Haskins won 118, 109, 118, 110, and 117, 111. So it was wide.
Yeah, and it's clearly, you know, he's the superior boxer. It's Hall that has to make the adjustments. Haskins can fight his own fight. And again, you see how Haskins is able to turn the corner. You see how he's able to turn right there. Hall has to prevent that turning the corner. He has to keep him there and force him to fight when he doesn't want to fight. If Haskins is able to decide whenever they fight and when it's time to go, like right there, he's going to feel too comfortable.
You know what? This is Hall's best round, though. He's responded to the advice of his corner, and he's landed more shots this round, and he's backing Haskins up. Haskins still having his success, but Hall is coming into the fight now, and that's what I want to see there. If you're in Hall's corner, you want to see Haskins backed up, taking shots to the head, and looking like he's in a bit of distress.
Trying to pin Haskins down and maybe throw a few body shots and just get him out of that groove.
Still looking like a matador a lot of times against the Bulldogs right there. He spun him around and Hall fell. But yeah, Carl, good point. You know, Hall's been able to land a lot more of the cleaner shots this round thus far. But he's got to consistently be first.
Even if he's not landing so many shots, with this sort of pressure that he can put Haskins under with these tactics, Haskins will have to slow down. At some point, he'll have to hold his feet and start the fight. You can't let him dictate and let him do what he wants to do on that, because he's comfortable, he's enjoying it, he's relaxed, Haskins. And you need to take that away from him. And this has been Haskins' hardest round so far in round 6. So if Hall can keep this up, he could start to swing in his favour. But it's by no means one-sided now, Paul. It's still very close, and you know, Haskins is still landing the clean, eye-catching shots.
Still finding difficulty judging the distance, isn't he, though, Hall?
Yeah, Haskins takes those little half steps back. He pivots off the lead foot and spins Hall around. You know, it's a game of chess, and Haskins plays it well.
20 seconds left in the 6th. This is the round that Lee Haskins said proceedings will be ended. No signs at all. Part of the hoopla, better from Hall there. Certainly, he's got closer. He's listened in the corner there to Paddy Lynch. He's trying ever so hard.
He's landed far more shots. This is a better round for him. It's still close, but for me, that's Hall's round.
Representing Europe, you feel like you're walking in like...
Well, Brook. He's getting them on for an occasion. The occasion that he believes will be the night of his life.
Well, it could be, couldn't it? If you can pull this off, it would be absolutely phenomenal.
Stuart Hall with his children all round the shorts. Reece, Jax and Thea, his 8-year-old family man after those wild days in Ibiza. Lee Haskins too has 3 kids. The eldest boxes now. He's 16. Where does time go, Carl?
It goes around and it moves fast, and when you have kids it moves even faster, because you just watch them grow up. You turn around and they're at junior school, and you know, back to the boxing here. Hall's doing well. Haskins being put under pressure. He's not enjoying himself. I know Hall walked into a shot there, but he's doing everything better than what he needs, you know, what he's been doing in the previous few rounds. Hall now has responded to his corner. I think he won the last round. He's putting Haskins under pressure here. Don't think Haskins is enjoying himself as much. What do you think, Paulie? Do you think he's doing what he needs to do now?
Yeah, I think Hall's putting him under a little bit of duress here. These are the key moments right here. Hall a lot of times gets him right here, and then he over pursues. He ends up getting smothered. Right here, he wants to keep him. You want to keep Haskins right here. You don't have to throw all the big shots. Just keep him uncomfortable. Throw a right hand to the stomach. Touch him. Don't overcommit, because otherwise he'll smother you and he'll spin around. See right there, he overcommitted on the hook, and Haskins is able to turn the corner. The right hand right there. You don't want to over pursue now.
It's that single basic right hand lead, and even the right hand off the jab, 1-2, which is what the cornerman have been saying there to him. Just throw the shot, throw the right hand, let it go. And he is having success with it. It's very, very frustrating to watch. It must be for his corner. But Haskins, with his style there, he's just taking jab after jab there. He will start to unfold because his style's very energetic and draining.
Left hand from Haskins.
Sharp counter from Haskins there. And that's what happens. You know, Hall's got a good jab when he's touching Haskins with it, but he doesn't change the rhythm. Haskins will time it with the counter left hand. So, of course, hence why the feints once in a while are important, just to break up that rhythm.
Yeah, Haskins there landing some clean, accurate counter punches. His cornerman was responding there. And, yeah, Hall's just been found wanting a couple of times. Still doing the right thing, backing up Haskins. He needs to sustain this, and he needs to let go of them hands more if he wants to come back into this fight and try and turn it around.
He's closing the range, closing the distance, trying to slow Haskins. Hall really gritting his teeth, going for it, and he needs to as the rounds tick by.
Chris Sanagot there in the corner responding, telling him the work's good, letting him know that he's doing what he wants him to do.
Some of these close to score, Paulie.
Yeah, this is another close round. Haskins has been landing the better shots the second half of this round now.
Good right hand there. It's caught Haskins off balance. And, you know, if he can land them, the judges will respond to that.
That was a close round.
Well, while this is happening, Andy Scott's been backstage. There's always some sort of controversy, isn't there, before a really big fight?
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as saying it was a full-on controversy, but the gentleman next to me, Paulie and Cole, know better than I do. There was to be named. Brooke had only sent one man to the other dressing room, so a fighter that we've seen on Sky before, Nadeem Sadiq, then protested and was eventually granted access to the dressing room, but everyone's happy.
So let me get this straight. Brooke wanted to send two guys because GGG sent two guys. Is that what it was?
Exactly right.
And they didn't want to let two guys into GGG's dressing room.
Team Triple G already had two in Brooke's dressing room.
I would have thrown both guys out of my dressing room.
Oh, we love a squabble, and we had one when Tyson Fury and Vladimir Klitschko fought last year. There was all that hoo-ha. Maybe that was a little mental up for Tyson Fury before he came into the ring. Remember him singing into the ring like Holyfield did before he fought Tyson. And we know what happened there. Big upset over in Germany. Will it happen again tonight?
Definitely mental games. Those are all little mental games. You try to get into your opponent's head. Sometimes the camps really do a good job of playing them. But I would have just thrown everybody out.
Were you spooked a bit by George Groves first time around?
I was spooked at the end of round one when I sat on the canvas. Are you teasing me, Adam?
What about these two? So much bad blood, certainly from Hall's side beforehand. He fought like that for the first 4 or 5 rounds. He's beginning to have some success as Haskins just slows, or certainly can't get his shots off with the same rhythm. But is it getting a bit too late for this? Is he too far behind already, Paulie?
Well, he's definitely lost the first part of the fight, so there can definitely be no more giving away rounds if you're Stuart Hall.
It was a lot closer around 6 and 7. But I scored it to Hall because he was landing nice shots. You know, he's backing Haskins up, making him look uncomfortable and making him look rugged and a bit, you know, out of his rhythm. And when you see that when you've been in hand so long, you know, backing up here and taking shots. Don't get me wrong, Haskins is landing some nice clean shots, but Hall just kept throwing that jab and backing him up, putting him under pressure. Nice 1-2 there, basic, but landing. They're all scoring shots for Hall. So he's clawing his way back into this fight after a very bad start, really.
Hall's being the more consistent guy of late. One thing about Haskins' style, he's got these jumping in punches, off-balance punches. See right there, you cannot throw a combination when you throw punches like that. You end up being limited to just 1 or 2 shots. So Hall can maintain his positioning when Haskins throws this weird offense, then he can just follow right back up because Haskins is off balance, like right there. You see, the only guy that can punch when you keep your balance is yourself. If your opponent is off balance once he throws his own punches.
That's why the style that Haskins has got works so well when you carry a big punch.
Good shots from Hall, though.
Great shots.
Really beginning to unload now, Stuart Hall. Late on in the 8th. Bit of blood from Haskins' nose. There's a body shot. This is the best spot in the fight for the challenger from Darlington, Stuart Hall.
He should really cut him off right here. He's got to cut the ring off. Haskins turning that corner is very big for him at the moment. If Haskins cannot turn the corner, I tell you, he's going to feel very uncomfortable.
It's a bit ungainly. It's certainly not a classic, but it's intriguing to watch, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, clash of styles.
It is, yeah. What's happening here, Haskins is having to hold his feet a little bit more because, you know, the energy levels start to sap after the first half of the fight. And, you know, with his style, this energetic, moving around, ducking and diving and jumping in and out of range with punches, you drain that stamina tank, and, you know, you can see that Haskins is draining. He's not looking happy here, walking back to his corner, he's taking big, deep breaths, and Hall is growing in confidence.
Good round for Stuart Hall. You saw Eddie Hearn, his promoter, up on his feet. Come on, this is the time now. Is he tiring, Haskins?
A little bit more.
He felt he was going to deal with Stuart Hall nice and early. He was relaxed, he got a rhythm. Maybe he thought the stoppage would come. It hasn't. This is interesting.
It is, yes. It's opening up now because Hall's doing what he's told, and Haskins is having to slow down because we're in the second half of the fight. So Hall's now, and the danger with that as well, when the judges see such a one-sided, because it was one-sided early on for Haskins. Haskins took the first 5 rounds on Michael quite clearly, and then when the judges see a swing and the momentum, and the other fighter in Hall start to land and start to be successful, even if he's not really landing that much, it's psychological for the judges. They start to score for Hall, and Hall landed a nice, crisp, clean right hand there, and the judges loved them shots, took the head back of Haskins, scoring shot, and there's no answer really from Haskins at this stage, and Hall's doing very well again with that right hand.
The 3 judges at ringside: Glenn Hamada from America, Marcus McDonnell from Britain, of course, and Dampak Tatasam just in front of us from the Philippines. They're the ones that count. And you just don't know what they're favouring as well, Paulie.
Of course, Adam, you're 100% right. I still don't know how Glenn Hamada gets jobs after 26 years ago. He had Mike Tyson ahead of Buster Douglas at the time of the stoppage, but 26 years later, he still gets jobs. So you never know what that guy's watching, that's for sure.
That's interesting. Good knowledge, good memory. We know Marcus McDonnell is an excellent official. He's got his glasses on and he watches every single split second. And would he have had Haskins winning most of the first half and Hall coming back? Remember, Haskins, the champion. Has he got to rip that belt away?
Hall. The way things are looking, at the end of this fight, both of these guys are going to feel secure that they won. Thought they won the fight, and somebody's going to feel like they got robbed.
If Hall doesn't get it, he will regret those first 4 or 5 rounds of tension, of just not really flowing. He's doing much better now.
He just never got going. He wasn't letting his shots go, and he was on the end of too many punches. His corner man, you know, they squared him up, straightened him out, and told him what he has to do, and he's responded well. And this fight is swinging in Hall's favour, and Haskins doesn't look like he's enjoying it, but he's still landing good shots, Haskins. He's still elusive, but he just looks like he's under pressure. He's on his back foot, and his head keeps getting snapped back. So I think the scoring now is really in Hall's favour, and it's going his way.
Has a flyweight and super flyweight as well, Lee Haskins. Might just have the extra strength down the stretch. Stuart Hall naturally bigger and stronger.
Exactly, and the legs part of the fight has got that strength and weight. That's going to really help him.
And the burning ambition to regain this title. And I think he was the oldest, or one of the oldest guys, at 33 to win a world bantamweight title. At 36 to regain it would be, especially after the story he's had, fairly extraordinary. Haskins looks really tired.
Hall's gaining ground.
Haskins to the two fighters. Chris Sanagar was bellowing in Lee Haskins' ear. He's been around so long. He's fought so hard for his Bristol boys. Back in the day, Glenn Catley, Ross Hale, Dean Francis. Then he's had real success with Lee Haskins. He's been involved with Lee Selby. It's Andrew Selby coming through. It's a renaissance down there in the West Country and in Wales. And he desperately wants Haskins to hold on to this world title. And after 5-6 rounds, he thought no problem, he would. But will he now?
Yeah, things have tightened up a bit, haven't they?
Hall's just marching forward, letting his hands go. And Haskins, he had some good success there at the start of this round. But again, he's on his back foot. And Hall's just doing what he has to do. Just let them punches go, let them shots go. And this is spelling trouble at the minute for Haskins, for me, on my card. He looks like the guy that's under pressure and under a bit more stress. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not totally one-sided, but it's just not landing enough of them eye-catching shots. And Hall's making it messy and making it tough for him in there.
Yeah, there's like that mental pressure. You know, Hall's trying to make Haskins continuously panic. Haskins doing a good job this round thus far. But a lot of times the second half of the round is when Haskins runs out of gas and Hall's able to land some good shots.
Do you feel, Paulie, if Haskins has just 1 or 2 rounds now, then he seals it?
Yeah.
That's what he needs.
Yeah, 1 or 2 rounds will close the deal for Haskins because he won so many of the early ones.
Well, Haskins took the first 5 rounds on my card. Hall turned it around and took the next 4. So if Hall can hold on to this round, and it's a close, tight round, you don't know what the judges are looking at. Well, Hall's landing that jab, he's backing Haskins up. Haskins isn't really landing any eye-catching, you know, round-stealing shots. He's on his back foot, which spells trouble. The fight's then level going into the last 2 rounds on my card. It's interesting. If Haskins can just land some eye-catching shots and put some clever work together, he will steal this fight and take it away from Hall. It's anybody's fight to be won or lost here at this stage.
And they're both so dedicated, hardened professionals now. But you wonder maybe, psychologically, if Haskins just overlooked him slightly, having had the easy win before, thought he was going to get the job done fairly convincingly, fairly early. That's better from Haskins. But Hall could have won this round.
Hall landed a lovely right hand straight down the power while Haskins was back for the ropes earlier. Then Haskins responded there with a nice southpaw left hook, come straight right hand. You know, it's so close, it's so hard to split them, but Haskins is on his back foot with his head getting snapped back. So you've got to favour Hall because he's the pressure man. Plenty on him, but it just depends what you're looking at, Paulie.
Yeah, it does, because Haskins also landing some pretty good check hooks in there too. This is a tight round.
He's landing some nice counter punches, Haskins, so it's a difficult one to score.
Very tight, the 10. Meanwhile,
the chalkboard, these are the little reminders.
Sharp, fast, ready.
Yeah.
Just little...
Yeah, little reminders. You don't want to go...
Came into your really important fights. What was going through both of your minds, the final checks?
Well, for me, it was nervous, tense, and apprehensive, but excitement. You know, when you've done the camp well, you've put no corners, you've trained hard, and you've got to be a consummate professional at world level, as these two both are. That confidence comes from a hard camp that you know's been well, and as long as the training camp goes well, you go into that ring confident, or at least should do, every time you fight.
Yeah, it's funny because I didn't have a chalkboard like Kell Brook, but I was reminding myself of the things I needed to do. I would remind myself all the way during my walkout, as much as I was enjoying the walkout, if there was a pressure here, but
Stuart Hall here having some good success. Haskins on his back foot looking ragged. Coming undone, the judges will be looking at this, and this is swinging nicely in Hall's favour.
There's a real drive here from Stuart Hall, and I'm sure his white ball would have said dedication, discipline, work hard, and that's what he's doing. And every round, probably since the 5th or 6th, He's been delivering his shots. Has Haskins done enough in those sessions?
That's the thing, the body language of the fight goes into the judging as well. You know, judges are human. If somebody looks more under duress and they look the worse for wear, a lot of times, you know, the judges won't give him the rounds, and Hall is bossing the pace of this fight at this point.
That's right. As far as I'm concerned, it's all in these last 2 rounds.
We reiterate, we're not sure, of course, how the judges are seeing things. Did they give Haskins 5 or 6 of those first 6 and Hall pretty much everything since, or have they seen something slightly different? Are we aiming towards a split or another one-sided set of scorecards? You just don't know.
I think if any of them early rounds were close, they could have been scored 10-10 by a couple of the judges. I mean, I've got them all for Haskins because he was landing the clean, accurate shots, but they could have very easily been shared rounds. The rounds on from that, the Hall's been winning. He's been kind of winning convincingly, like he is for me. In this round, he's landing the shots, he's putting Haskins on his back foot and making him look ragged and disjointed at times. Hall's doing everything he needs to do. He's getting hit with the odd counter punch and Haskins landing nice shots, but Hall's in control here for me.
Just getting some other ringside opinion. Some have got Haskins by a couple, some Hall by 1. That sort of fight, it's sort of what you like, and it looked like Stuart Hall was sort of out of it for the first few rounds, but look at this, the courageous drive. Haskins, the footwork slowing, being hit more. Occasionally he finds a crisp, cute counter. What are you looking for?
Yeah, you know, again, it's all in this kind of boxing you pretty much favor, you know. As I said earlier, I think both of these guys are going to feel like they won this fight when it's over. Somebody's going to feel like they got robbed. It's very close. A lot of the rounds could go either way, and you can make a case for either guy winning, being in the lead in this fight thus far.
In my experience, when the rounds are close, the judges tend to go with the fighter that's pushing forward, and you know, when the momentum's of the fighter on his front foot and he's landing shots, the judges like what they see, and they're sort of swayed by that, and that can be the difference between winning and losing in a tight fight. My card there, Hall's taking these rounds. You know, you couldn't really argue any close rounds the other way. More in the tank going into this round. Let's see how it goes.
He's yelling at everybody in those corners, huh? Both corners.
3 minutes left. Will it come down to this? Have the judges already got a favoured winner? We just don't know. Lee Haskins from Bristol, hoping to cling on to his IBF bantamweight title. It was much more clear-cut last time they fought. But Stuart Hall has come on so strong, round after round, and you think if it was 15 rounds, he'd win the fight. But over 12...
Very close, anybody's fight over 12. But like I said, for me, Hall's just pushing forward more, just landing more shots. If he just walks forward now and lets the shots go, he hasn't really got to worry about getting KO'd because there's not a great deal of power from the back from Haskins, especially in round 12. So I feel Hall just needs to work.
He's always had a good chin as well, Hall.
Solid fighter, great chin, very durable.
Oh, left hook as well. Haskins just unravelling again, and that might, as you said, catch the judge's eye. That come-forward aggression, the extra oomph, the extra bite down the last few minutes.
But he's having success, Haskins. You know, he's landing counter right hooks, he's landing lead left thrusters there, just from the stance, but he's getting hit with shots that are knocking his head back. It's very close, very evenly matched fight, very watchable fight.
You see your 5 brothers all on their feet over there. They're beckoning Stuart Hall to come in. He won the British title outright a few years ago. A world champion, really unexpected. Can he do it again and become a 2-time champion of the world at 36?
See, Hall, he's determined. He's not even accepting the clinches. When Haskins clinches, Hall is still trying to work his hands inside.
Beautiful work from Haskins. There's the quality. Suddenly, you see the difference in skill set. But has he done enough of that?
Probably not, but there's some nice eye-catching shots there from Haskins. I feel that Hall just needs to keep this work rate up, keep this pressure up, and it is a real work-like performance from Hall.
What were the odds on the draw?
What were the odds on the draw? I'm not sure.
Probably about 20 to 1, but could we have a split? Could we be having a close decision? Controversial. I think Paulie's hit the nail on the head. both fighters are going to believe they've won this.
Haskins is in flight at this moment, guys. He's in flight. You cannot move that much and then continue to work. It's very difficult. He's actually in flight, almost trying to survive the 12th round.
I don't want to be too negative with Haskins because he's done very well. He's landed some nice, clean, eye-catching shots, especially in the first half of the fight, as we've said. And he's still landing good counters here. He's still working and picking his shots. But he's looking uncomfortable. He's looking like he's going to enjoy that last bell more than Stuart Hall.
Last 20 seconds of what's ended up being a pretty close-fought, tight affair as they really go for it. Who can leave the last image on the three judges when it come down to this round? Eddie Hearn at ringside, pushing Stuart Hall, or trying to Chris Saligar on his feet. And now there's the respect, there's the hug, and there's the little chat between them as Stuart Hall raises his arms and the Haskins team raise their man. Both believe they've got it. Who deserves to win it, Paulie, and who will win it?
Trying to add up my scorecard now, let's see.
I've got one round for Hall. I've got them shearing that last round because it was so difficult to separate them. You couldn't really argue either way, but from where I'm sat, from what I'm looking at, and obviously boxing is scored very, very subjective, and it's what you like. For me, Hall's just nicked that there with a great finish to the fight.
I'm adding my scorecard. I have it 115-115 with 2 rounds, 10 all, even 10 even. So at 2 rounds at 10-10, I have it 5 apiece, and then 2 rounds 10-10. I have it an even fight.
Just catching David Hayes' eye behind. He believes Haskins has won fairly comfortably. The first half of the fight, I don't think there's an argument there. The second half, a little bit more what you like. He is the champion.
If any of the judges have scored any of them late rounds to Haskins, which they could have very well easily done, because there was some nice, clean, accurate counter punches going in there, then Haskins will retain his title. But Hall, for me, marched through towards the end, was very workmanlike and successful with a lot more shots than Haskins, but this can go either way, this fight.
Very close, nervous times for both fighters. Will they do it a third time? Will they be wide on one card, close on another?
It's that type of fight. I mean, as you just said, David Hay has Haskins way ahead. I mean, so it could go.
What does David Hay know, Paulie?
I don't know. Adam said Hay has Haskins way ahead. I have it a draw.
Let's find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of World Championship Boxing. Please, your appreciation for both boxers in the ring. We go to our judges' score totals. Marcus McDonald, 115, 113. Glenn Amada, 117, 111. Dan Rex Tenderson, 116, 112. All for the winner. And still, the IBF Bantamweight champion of the world, Haskins.
Well, really interesting. Boos around the arena, maybe from people at the back that couldn't see some of Haskins' quality work, certainly in the first half of the fight, but he's won it by 6, by 4, by 2, and is one-sided, and is what David Hayes said, guys. You different opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I got a draw. I mean, I guess 115, 113 I can see. It's very difficult for me to give the 117, 111. But again, it's all in what you're looking for in the fight.
Well, that's boxing, and we see it time and time again on the scorecards. Eddie Hearn looking down at me there, thinking that, you know, Hall did enough to nick it by 2 rounds. You know, suggestions at ringside. And you know, Hall's cornermen are devastated with that result. But the champion retains his title, and they do say, you know, if you want to win that title, you've got to go and rip it off him. Did Hall do enough to rip it off Haskins? There's an argument that he didn't. But
he didn't do enough to rip it, I don't think. And so Haskins retains his title. The champion goes on. There are boos, but you've got to take your hats off. He did it. He's retained his belt. What does Ed think?
Well, never mind that. What does Dave think? How did you score it, Dave?